We're doing a cold cut. I don't care. One take makes all. Inside of Rome, not only holds a wonderful tourist spot, beautiful scenery, but it holds the Vatican. What is the Vatican? Well, for one, it's a whole city, but it's also a place of worship. What's inside the Vatican? The Pope's vault. Centuries of hidden away items. What have the popes put in there? We're going to theorize some of that. And we're going to start with John the 12th. It's a painted picture here. So Pope John the 12th, this guy was just a teenager when he was handed the keys to the Holy Palace. 18 years old, fresh-faced, and ready to go off like it's 1000 AD. But instead of Bible studies and prayer, this dude turned his crib into a full-blown brothel. Prostitutes, ale, the works. Some of this, he even invited get-togethers in his own quarters. Real life, eyes wide shut stuff going on in the Vatican. He didn't stop there. This guy was a one-man festival of debauchery. Despite the holy position, he was into everything. Murder, demon summoning, and apparently he was also into a little sibling diddling on the side. Don't worry, when I say a little, I mean a lot. There was often. What goes around comes around, however. This guy's hedonism ended up being the death of him. He got caught in bed with another man's wife, and the husband, being a bit of a based, trad-pilled MAGA supporter, decided to deliver his own version of divine justice. He beat the Pope so badly that he died 3 days later. At the time, people thought he was just walloped for good reason and let him hemorrhage out. So the real meat of this is, what did he leave in the security deposit box of the Vatican vault? Here are a few ideas. The first known and most sour batch of whiskey known by men. Ireland and or Scotland may have been the first to publicly announce the distilled product in the 1000s. But as an incredibly evangelical country, there's very good reason to believe an offering was made to John the 12th, or he simply killed the progenitor of the barley drink and used his corpse as an offering for the drunken devils. Priceless paintings and jewelry from times bygone, stolen from victims left in his wake. He no doubt was offered stuff of even more measurable value by the ignorant in services. Fucking treasure trove in there. Demonic artifacts, scrolls, maybe even a piece of an actual succubus, considering how horny the dude was. Crazy how some of these guys even got to be popes. But John, he was fascinated with the crab. Might even have the prototype of the first pocket pussy given to him by his modus. The skeleton of his sister that he left in a cage by accident after he got done stress relieving on it despite all of his rage. He thought I was joking, but I got a pretty good feeling on this one. There was next to nothing consensual about this guy. Last but not least, the original cut chair. Boniface VIII. Is that right? Yeah. Boniface VIII. Dive into the wild world of Pope Boniface VIII. Born back in the 13th century when things were really heating up in the world of religion and politics. He was a lawyer, so he knew his way around a courtroom. However, when he became the Pope, his belief was that he held power over the kings and emperors. He was a step under from God himself. Pissed off a lot of dudes. King Philip IV of France even sent goons to fuck him up. Allegedly, it sent him into a shock so bad it ended up killing him a few days later. He was ultimately known for destroying an entire city called Palestrina over a personal feud. The epitome of rubbing hands together, especially over the amount of kids he couldn't keep his hands off of. What did he leave in the vault? Original court documents showing how justice was carried in broad print from the 1200s. Considering the person he was, some of the cases he covered had to have been brutal, not to mention the cover-ups. The entirety of valuables from the city of Palestrina, known to be a famous tourist spot, there's no telling how many tourists were looted. The amount of gold must be insane in the vault, and I've only covered 2 idiots so far. The rubbled remains of any steps or stairs. His destructive record may not be justified, but understandable, as his short stature would wreak havoc across not only rooms, people, but access to most second floors and raised venues. Benedict the Ninth. First off, this dude wasn't even supposed to be the Pope. He got it because his daddy, a powerful Roman noble, essentially bought him the position. Benny wasn't interested in the whole faithful servant of God stick. He turned the Vatican into his personal party palace. We're talking orgies, rampant corruption, and just pure unfiltered hedonism. The guy even sought the papacy. Threw the whole throne on Craigslist for a guy named Gregory the Sixth. He got bored and came back to reclaim his seat not once but twice. Benedict the Ninth was so corrupt, so fucked up, that even the church, which wasn't exactly squeaky clean in those days, said we had enough. Excommunicated him and eventually had to chase him out with a goddamn sword. What could he be hiding in there? Being the son of a long lineage of wealthy men, he would don his ceremonial golden and jewel-encrusted codpiece, eventually leaving it for the vault where it hangs next to some of John XII's original prototype. The mummified head of his favorite prostitute. After selling the seat of God's strongest warrior, he came back with a hoe in a toe. During his reenlistment, she lost her life and was put in remembrance on a ferula, that little stick that the popes carry around.